We showed allergies to almonds, apples, lima beans, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, cone, grape, lemons, limes, lettuce, orange, peaches, peanuts, pear, raspberries, hops, pumpkins, strawberry, Bing cherries, tomatoes, walnuts.
Oh my God.
Basically,
Justin.
every healthy food out there,
Exactly,
Justin,
but
sorry,
you know,
buddy.
And I consulted a dietitian. This is basically what you're eating now, because you've gone almost vegan, right?
Yeah, I'm close.
So these things are getting into your system. Do you have a little bit of leaky gut? I don't know. But if you were to come into my office and you had real symptoms, we would do a food diary. We would see what you might be eating, and then we would try eliminating it. Since this was done backwards, you're not having any symptoms, this is just interesting information.
So you don't have diarrhea?
Not currently.
No?
Can I see that
Yeah,
list?
yeah, and I'll show you.
I mean, there are some overlaps with the other tests that he did.
It is. There is some overlap, but what's interesting is he had no proteins that he was allergic to. And you're basically vegan now, so you're not eating any proteins. So this has to be taken with a grain of salt.
Well, it's just interesting because
Plant protein.
when you told me you were doing this investigation, I've had this testing done. And the kind of testing you do. And I actually had very similar results. It was basically the foods I eat a lot and beer.
We know that's
I was
not
allergic
going.
to hops and barley. And
So
it was
is
like,
he.
you
So
can't
is
drink
he.
beer anymore. You can't eat, almonds. And I'm like, well, this is my diet. And so how do you deal with that information? I think the number one key to your investigation is if you're going to have this done, it's worth having it done the right way, testing for IgE. If you have symptoms, and then talking to an expert about, okay, what is the best path forward? Because is it fair to say that, in looking back at it, that a lot of it's just a money grab?
Yes. The lab testing, it's a $25 billion a year industry. So there's a lot of money there. The problem with these tests, which these food sensitivity tests, are only IgG, not IgE like he does. And basically, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it's potentially dangerous for many people who are taking these tests because, they don't have the money to go to a doctor. They see these tests, they're like, physician approved, There's all these stories about how changing their diets up with these tests have changed their life.
I think psychologically it's a bad thing.
Of course.
It's planting the seed that all these great foods
that are good for
that you are eating and tolerating are bad for you in some way. I mean, that's...
Yeah. There's a rule in medicine that we all learned in med school. You never treat the results. You treat the patient. And if the results don't make sense, then something's off. And it's usually the results, not the patient.
And if you look at all of the positive results that Justin had, between the at-home test number 1 and Dr. Jorge's test, the only thing in common, almonds and apples. Between the at-home tests, egg white and coconut. And between the at-home test and Dr. Jorge's test, walnuts. There was not one single food that was consistently positive in all 3 tests. If someone watching is concerned they have a severe food sensitivity or allergy, best to go see GI doctor, allergist, immunologist?
Either way. If they're having symptoms that are GI, either constipation or diarrhea, go see a GI doctor. We'll direct you whether to go see a nutritionist or to go see an allergist.
So are you going to change your behavior at all because of this
Probably
investigation?
not.
Well, there's nothing to change. He's feeling fine,
I'm
right?
feeling fine. I feel
You've never looked
better than you've ever felt.
Better than I've ever felt, I feel right now. So, and the problem with these tests, because I did a lot of, once I figured out that they're pretty much garbage, these tests, instead of food sensitivity tests, they should call them foods that you probably ate recently tests. You can do your own food diary and find that out, not pay $180 for it. So, and the problem, and I came up with this, is I call this the money placebo effect. If you spend a lot of money on a test like this, you'll be more likely to believe the results. The American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology says it's important to understand this test has never been scientifically proven to be able to accomplish what it reports to do.
So if you feel bad, go see a doctor.
But you want to know my favorite part about this investigation? There was a Dr. Jorge Rodriguez sighting.
Yes.